Hello and welcome back to the Dramatic Dream Dragons podcast here on the 5-Star Network. I am as always your host Sondre Björn, and we are as always a podcast all about DRAGONGATE and DDT Pro Wrestling. Today I'm joined by both Yannik and Dylan. The full trio is here. How are you guys doing?
I'll be a horse in like half an hour because we are already talking for like an hour and a half, but that's fine. Nothing to do about it.
I wouldn't trade that hour and a half for the world, people. I just want to point that out. But I would not trade any of our time together to the world. And so many episodes we've done in these past couple of years, and so happy that DRAGONGATE and DDT did not fold. That would have really changed the show if something like that had happened. We would have had to find a new promotion, I think, to cover. We would have went full in on Glate if that happened.
Oh, speaking of folding.
They might fold for real. Yes.
Man, we would really need to search another excuse to get our hours of talking in.
Yeah, we would have to like make this like Stardom DRAGONGATE hybrid.
Here is what we would talk about, Sondre. Would be about Hideo Kojima's favorite wrestlers. I don't know if you did you see
hell
that?
Yeah.
Yes, his love of Jun Kasai.
I would gladly talk about Jun Kasai.
I wish there was like a English subtitles version of the documentary Hideo Kojima tweeted about.
Yeah. So he's like one of the biggest game makers ever. We both love him very much.
Yeah. I hope people know that.
Even I know who that is.
So you know that, but you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised if you're not in tune with indie gaming. But if you even have a passing note, you probably know him.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be playing Death Stranding 2 though. I didn't really like Death Stranding 1.
Okay.
Who looked at Death Stranding and thought that needs a second part?
Yeah, I was not a fan of how combat was in that game. I thought the story, performances, and directing was pretty great, but like the combat was so bad.
You just wanted more walking.
A walking simulator was the joke, correct?
Yeah.
I do know someone in wrestling who loved that game a lot and would not be happy with you saying that, but I think a lot of people actually share your sentiments.
Yeah, I didn't see it as something that needed a sequel. Well,
I mean that's true. I mean the thing with him is that he put his heart into this, as dumb as we may think that game was in a lot of ways. I mean, I didn't dislike it, but
the thing is, he clearly wants to make it fits more like a TV show or an anime or whatever, not a game.
But that's kind of always been his critique, though. Like, how many times did we hear about Metal Gear, though? That he wants to make a movie.
Look at Metal Gear 4, where they have like half an hour cinematic, so
literally the end of the game is a 2-hour cutscene. Like, it's not even a joke. I'm not even exaggerating. It's literally a movie, which is the final cutscene.
I still love that game though.
I can't believe you spoiled me.
Well, I mean, I'll say what
Gear 4?
This game that came out 16 years ago.
Oh my god! Don't make me feel old.
Yeah, dude, I was a teenager when that came out, and I was like so freaking hyped for Metal Gear 4 because when I was a teenager, I mean, I love Metal Gear 3. Don't get me wrong. Like I love that game. I cannot wait for Delta to come out.
So hyped for Delta to come out.
Yeah, we're still waiting for that, but it's gonna be freaking awesome. We know that, but. One of my literal favorite games ever, and I think one of literally the best narratives ever told in any medium, is Metal Gear Solid 2. And by the end of it, so I was so hyped. I mean, like I said, I liked Metal Gear 3, but I was ready to get out of the 60s. Like, I wanted to see the follow-up to 2, and from the narrative way that 4 went, I didn't love all of the decisions he made. I will say, but I mean, I love that game. And when you go back to Shadow Moses, that's like an all-time great moment, and you see things like I love it, like love it. You get to fight as Rex, which is freaking amazing.
Yeah,
that was like my dream. I mean, I played the first Metal Gear when I was probably like 5 years old, dude. Like it was on when I got the first PlayStation. I mean, I didn't get it until later in its run, but probably 99 or 2000. I was still a little kid at this time. It's a very small child. But I had a demo disc that came with it, and that was on there. And I played the opening section where you wrestle the DARPA chief, literally probably hundreds of times. Like just because that's how far the demo went. It went from the start to rescuing the DARPA chief, and I did that so many times. And I wanted to play that full game forever, and I love that whole series. I literally have a neon sign in my room of the Foxhound logo that I just got and put up. So
I'm actually really glad you brought up Hideo Kojima because did you see IGN's April Fool's joke where they posted a lot of like meme names for in the Avengers Doomsday chairs thing. And I saw John Cena, Keanu Reeves, and Hideo Kojima, and like back to back, and I immediately thought, yeah, this sounds better than Doomsday.
Yes, that would be a much better movie.
John Cena and fighting Keanu Reeves with Hideo Kojima directing, that sounds awesome.
All-time legendary movie. If that happened.
I thought that Fightful fell for the Tokyo Sports April Fool's joke.
Oh yeah, that was it. Of course they did.
Oh god, no.
Night of Free Agent.
Oh no! Like, why did they do that?
I feel like they fall for it every year.
Yeah.
I remember last year when they covered the Champion Carnival and they said he was Masua instead of Suwama.
I don't remember that, but I'm not surprised.
Every time I go on Jessica's show, I bring that up to her, and she gets mad. Whenever I bring that up, she's like, "I can't believe they did that. Show some respect to Suwama."
It's so funny. It's so funny seeing people react also to like whenever there's like a free agent that is obviously not real. And seeing people react to it, it's so funny.
April Fools. I always say like April Fools is probably the worst holiday.
Yeah, don't go online.
Yeah, well, I just even when I was a kid, I hated that stuff. Like just in real life, I thought all the jokes were really lame and not funny. But the only good thing about that day is fake wrestling reports that people believe. That's unquestionably the highlight of April Fools. I love it because like I get it. I know what's going on, but I love seeing everyone get fooled by these things.
Yeah,
for sure. We should have done an April Fool's joke about like DRAGONGATE or DDT or something. I feel like.
What would be the April Fool's? Oh, KC won in a
dream.
That's
too unbelievable.
You need to strike the balance there.
Okay.
Yeah, like somebody shockingly announced that, like, if we just been like now gave up his contract for DDT to sign with New Japan.
Punch Tominaga, next challenger for the Dreamgate.
I think some people would have believed that.
Unconfirmed rumors that SB Kento is Dia Inferno.
Well, I mean, that is a legit unconfirmed rumor. It's just not confirmed, but it is a rumor. That's true, Sondre.
Yeah.
Kento Itakuma are the new Twin Gate challengers.
Eita is returning and finally feuding with Seabrats.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Thank God you haven't seen him at Noah recently.
I saw him at Noah New Year.
And that was once was enough.
And he was wrestling Daga for the second year in a row.
Yeah, that's their legendary junior feud right now in Noah, Daga and Eita.
I'm still mad that the one Eita match that I got to see in person was against Leona.
Dude, after you should have listened to my reaction to after Daga and Eita, which I thought was like decent. I was in the building. I thought I was into Eita. The whole match was like decent. It wasn't good or anything, but it was good, decent. And then post match, Hayata comes in, and everyone around is like either taking pictures or like gasping. And immediately when I see Hayata enter the ring, I let out an audible "fuck off." And there were so many Japanese people just turning their heads to me and being like, "What?" A very embarrassing moment for me, but I still stand by it.
Arguably for Noah.
Yeah, okay, first of all, yeah, it's more embarrassing for them. You need to stand on business. I don't care who looked at you. Like, when Hayata comes out, you do not react positively.
Yep.
Yeah.
Luckily, no Hayata no Hayata on the Shinjuku Face Shun Skywalker produce show. We're talking Dragon Gate exclusively this episode. Actually, we're gonna talk about the DDT card for this weekend and for WrestleMania weekend later. But first, we're gonna talk about Dragon Gate. Since last episode was only DDT, we need to do that for Dragon Gate now. So, in the midst of the Rey de Parejas, Shun Skywalker held a produce show in Shinjuku Face, SSW Quest 4, The Chosen Seas. This was streamed live on Dragon Gate Network in a sold-out Shinjuku Face. And yeah, it looked sold out. I believe this number.
You don't think it's a work number for Shinjuku?
Why do that for Shinjuku Face?
Yeah.
Why do that, period? But, like, that's another discussion.
Yeah, there's no logic behind doing it at all, but whatever.
But yeah, I just finished the show today.
In this call?
Yeah, in this call.
That's true.
When Dylan joined the call earlier, I was just starting Gianni Villetta and Shuji Ishikawa, and I asked like 10 minutes after he joined, why am I still watching this match? But luckily it ended pretty quickly after that.
I had no answers.
But let's talk about the card from the start. The pre-show match, the dark match, can we say, was streamed. It was Casey, Madoka Kikura, and Dragon Daya. No, Hyo, Casey, and Madoka Kikura versus Dragon Daya, Jackie Kame, and Yamato. This went to a no contest due to Seabrat's interference, and was a pretty fun match to start the show.
Yeah. How many there were
this
like 9.
This was just a Dragon Gate match. It like all of the others had the Shun Skywalker like trademark thing with it.
But this was also like full of access, so it wasn't like an announced match. And then I saw all the participants, and I just thought, why? So I was pretty happy that the Seabrats was here because I was in the mood for some Seabrats bullshit.
And that is kind of the whole gimmick of the show. As we would see in the actual opener after Shun opens the show. We had
good. I will say this: it's a good beat that Shun put. Like this kind of tells you in the world of Shun Skywalker who his main enemies are, because he put them all in the pre-show match. You got jerkers.
No Dia Inferno story here, which again confirms that this show is kind of a non-canon show.
Yeah.
Speaking of non-canon, Ishin and Yoshiki Kato were facing Dragon Kid, who was an ex, and Diamante. Luis Mante back in the Diamante mask, being kind of mind-controlled by Shun Skywalker to act like Diamante. This went 13 minutes and 23 seconds. During the match, Dragon Kid, which I think this was his comeback match.
Yeah. Yes, and he was an ex. No one knew he would appear.
Yeah, which was great. And it was the whole point of the match, the whole story of the match was Dragon Kid getting bullied by the Seabrats, and then Diamante or Luis Monte acting very like his old gimmick, even attacking Dragon Kid. But when he got his mask off, he was no longer mind controlled. It was very like Rita last year. It ended with a spell Tigre from Diamante to Ishin. I thought this was very fun.
It was funny. No one likes Dragon Kid.
Why? What did he do to deserve this gimmick?
Oh, he's insufferable. Just ask any of the wrestlers. He is.
I don't believe them though.
Yeah, I'll stand with Kid over some of these other sources you have.
Man.
I'm sorry.
He looked good in this match, but he looked amazing in the other match that we're going to talk about in the Battle Royal.
But the stuff with Diamante was, and like I said, it at least gave this match purpose. I mean, nobody's watching the show to have 5-star classics. I don't think so. At least have fun with it. And I think if you buy into whatever your assigned gimmick is on the show, you can make that match work. And I think for this one, it definitely did.
Yeah. It was very fun. And a fun gimmick to have. Then we had another Masked C coming out, a X, to face Rita in a singles match. This match went 8 minutes and 2 seconds, and it was won by Masked C when Rita ripped off his mask and got DQ'd. Masked C was Fuminori Abe.
No one saw that coming.
No,
while he was wrestling.
the whole match was a lot of like you could easily tell that it was Fuminori Abe the way he was wrestling, and I thought it was very fun for it. And like seeing, I never ever thought I would see Fuminori Abe versus Rita. So just getting to see some fun here was nice.
This was totally fun. Yeah. It is two goofballs. One has a mask on for some reason.
He is allied with the Fuminori Abe is Dia Inferno.
It would have been very funny if it was Dai Tsuchiguchi, but no.
By the way, I'm gonna keep the bit going forever with the Dia Inferno. Until they reveal who it is, I'm gonna say it's everyone. I am Dia Inferno.
Okay, you have 3 more days.
Yes.
Yes, that is true. When are you ever gonna complain about seeing Fuminori Abe in any situation? At the end of the day.
This
obviously,
this is actually a new. This is a first for us. 2 episodes in a row to talk about Fuminori Abe matches.
I mean,
that is new.
I will now compare this to Fuminori Abe in a warehouse. He wrestled at Winter Park against Keiko Nakamura.
The famous warehouse Ueno Park outside venue.
Yeah. But like it is never the highest work. It is that wasn't mid-card, but like the kind of whole show vibe was off for that. So this is just mid-card Abe having fun, and you always know what you get, and it's always funny, and I always know I will enjoy it. Whoever the opponent is, actually, grab that. Not whoever the opponent is. There are probably people that can have bad matches with Abe. But Keigo and Rita are not those. But it's also like not really a wrestling match. It's just shenanigans and fun, and I will smile about it.
Yeah. Moving on to Gianni Valletta versus Shuji Ishikawa. Special rule for this match was no outside count for the match because Gianni. And of course, this match ends with a ring count out. after 11 minutes and 58 seconds. It's two big guys doing big guy stuff. Nothing special.
Yeah. I mean,
it could have been worse.
Yes. I don't really have a memory of the match. I need to be reminded it happened.
Yeah, it's nothing to talk about, honestly.
It was big, and they brawled around. Like, what more do you want?
It fits for these kind of shows, you know? It honestly would have fitted at Corrigan also.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if it was just shorter. Like, because you're not going to get... Like, this is a one-note match, and that's kind of my problem with these styles of matches. Like, there's literally only one thing that's going to happen in this, and they just drug it out. And I wish this should have been like a really fast brawl that just led to them just, like, fighting out of the building or something like that.
No.
It might have been...
Then we had a tag match, Kai and Jason Lee of Seabrats versus Taiji Shimori and Sanada of New Japan Pro Wrestling and Bullet Club, I guess. 10 minutes and 29 seconds, win by disqualification for Kai. Sanada got DQ'd, it says here. How was this? Because I skipped this. Actually, it was Kai who got DQ'd.
Oh.
But yeah.
How can you skip the Great War Dogs, Sondre?
Very easily.
Satisfaction.
Yeah. Very easily.
Okay, good. I'm glad you didn't have too many problems doing that. Man, Sonata sucks. Like, especially, the thing is, like, I mean, I've always thought he sucked. But I actually thought that he got a little better last year after he dropped the title. And he was just an acceptable mid-card guy.
Yeah.
When he turned heel, I feel like he just...
Speaking of, I did not know he had turned heel until I saw him working heel during the Rumble at Wrestle Kingdom.
His outfit was fire, though.
I had no idea he had joined Bullet Club until his entrance during the fucking Rumble at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, he had just turned like a month before when he turned on Taichi. And Taichi didn't believe it at first. He thought Gato was the one who interfered and not Sonata. He refused to believe his friend would turn on him.
That's funny.
And Sonata was like, he like did this long, exaggerated pull the zipper down on his jacket to reveal a Bullet Club shirt. And Taichi was like, no.
So dumb.
And they barely even paid off that storyline, but whatever, that's a problem for New Japan. I will say this.
When is it going to end?
It'll never end. Bullet Club will last forever. They had like 3 unresolved storylines because they folded just 4 guys into Hantai again, just like Chaos. They're all part of the same group now. Like no more just 4 guys.
No.
So that storyline goes unchecked. Bullet Club feuded with House of Torture, and maybe that'll be pivoted now that Finley's going for the world title too. So like Bullet Club has all of these unresolved storylines. And the one with Jay White as well. Like they always bring it up every once in a while. So they never want to finish any storylines with Bullet Club for some reason. And nobody knows what Jake Lee is, on top of it.
Isn't he injured?
Yes.
But
he's never on the shows, though. Like, you can at least talk about him. Like, he acknowledged this man exists.
But is he part of Bullet Club War Dogs? Or
yes.
House of Torture? Okay.
Yeah, he got a tag team with Gabe Kidd before he got injured. But he's real. He's not a figment of my imagination.
About the match, though, you could tell Kai had fun, and Jason Lee was so by far the best wrestler in this. It was embarrassing.
I mean, well,
or like everyone else.
Not the last time during this episode we'll praise Jason Lee. Speaking of, not the last time we'll praise someone, Homare in the main event.
I personally had fun seeing Kai and Sonata go at it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. There's a lot of history there.
It gives me good nostalgia for All Japan, like an era of All Japan that's largely forgotten, but I like. So I appreciate it for that. If I didn't have that, I probably would have skipped it too, to be honest.
Yeah. Then, in the main event, it was Shun Skywalker, Kota Minoura, and Homare of Seabrats versus Shingo Takagi, Hiromu Takahashi, and Bushi of Los Ingobernables de Alpon. This match ended after 22 minutes and 6 seconds with Shun Skywalker getting pinned with the Bushi roll after getting hit by a lariat by Shingo. This whole I love that Shun lost in his own home produce show. That's just so fun. Funny.
Bushi of all people.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's putting over his friend. Makes sense.
Yeah, but he's like the lowest member of the roster.
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah. But what this match was, it was of course a big 6-man tag, full of Seabrats walking and brawling. But what it also had was Homare wrestling the Dragon Gate legend Shingo Takagi and getting to do so much cool stuff with him. Just Homare very, very much owning himself with someone who is this big of a name. And it was awesome. Homare in this match, or in all of the matches that we're going to talk about with him, acted like a main eventer. And he is 6 months into his career. It was very nice.
Right, good boy, huh?
Yeah. As we're going to talk about later also. Homare is quite a great wrestler.
Well, I will say this, though. There was a lot of cool stuff between Homare and Shingo, yes. But listening to you watch this live, your biggest reaction was to Hiromu's terrible lariat that he threw.
That was bad. That was so bad.
That was what stood out the most in this match. Was Hiromu's terrible lariat. But the stuff with Homare and Shingo was awesome, though. There's no way around it. This could be something where, if Homare lives up to his potential, he could be a top star on the level to where you go toe-to-toe with Shingo in a big match, and they have a really good, even match, not just a learning experience or whatever. He could be on that level. I actually thought Shingo and Shun had some good stuff, too, with each other as well. When Shun was in there, I thought that they did a great job with each other. I think Shun is a great person to put with Shingo just because of his size as well. So I thought they had a really great dynamic. The match itself, otherwise, there were definitely some nits to pick, in my opinion, from some people. I don't think everybody really was flawless in their execution, but in terms of a vibes main event, I thought this was really strong.
This was certainly like a produce show main event.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But it was very nice to just get to see, because you never expect to see. I expected Bushi to be on the show, but I didn't really expect Shingo until they announced Shingo, of course. But Shingo just matched pretty well up with everyone against her. He was going against her, which is kind of what Shingo does whenever he shows up in Dragon Gate, to be fair. But yeah, I thought, weirdly enough, the bad spot of the match, or the bad wrestler in the match, was Hiromu. And I don't know.
How it goes.
Hiromu is a weird wrestler.
Was it better than his match with Yamato?
Yes, because it has something.
I don't remember that match.
Yes, neither do I, because I fell asleep and I was in the building.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. That is true.
I mean, it had a lot going against it on my side, but
I recently rewatched Hiromu versus Kazuki Hirata from Ultimate Party 2023. I rewatched it because I was watching some DDT with a friend, and he wanted to watch Hirata, so I just put that on. And honestly, that match has not aged well.
Hiromu versus Hirata?
Yeah, Hiromu versus Hirata has not aged well. It was. I think that. It was also kind of like because I didn't really remember because that match remember that changes step for like every time they spin the wheel.
Yeah,
and they spin it a lot, and I had forgotten what every step was, and I didn't have the translation of whatever.
Oh yeah, no, you need translation for that on hand.
Yeah, but I was drunk, so I was like, I was guessing, like,
yeah. Fair.
But yeah.
Did they have more than one match though?
No, they had only that Ultimate Party match.
Okay. Man, who knows? Maybe I've like Mandela affected myself because I feel like they had more than one. Maybe it was like a tag match they did together.
Anyways, after that match, we watched a Dino and Yoshihiko versus Golden Lovers match, and I discovered that Donshoku Dino is my friend's favorite wrestler.
I mean, that makes sense. I trust he was also, or your friend was also very drunk.
Oh yeah. Anyway.
I was thinking of their match last month when they teamed together with the issues.
Oh.
Yeah. So that did happen. I didn't just make this up.
Was that on Hirata's produce show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, there's been so much wrestling.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy how that happens.
That show just happened and it passed away.
It died. Like the show is done.
Now. Gone from memory. Anyway, speaking of stuff that I have not seen, half of the Rey de Parejas block play. I could not keep up. I could not keep up with the Rey de Parejas for the life of me. Yannik, I know you were even worse than me on that.
Yes, I didn't lie to myself and told myself that I will try.
Yeah. But going into the final night, before we start reviewing the final night that happened on the 30th, let's go through the standings going into the final night. Over in A block. A block was won by Rita and Jackie Kame at 7 points. And at second place was Kota Minoura and Jason Lee at 6 points. The rest of the standings was Ishin and Yoshiki Kato and Kagetora and Susumu Yokosuka both on 5. Let's see. Daiki Yamaguchi and Ryofuda were at 2, and D Courage, Dragon Dia, Yuki Yoshiko was at 3. So D Courage had a very losing tournament, but a very good tournament from what I saw. I think I only missed 1 match from their run. No, 2. I didn't watch the Ishin and Kato match. But I thought from the block play matches I got to see in the A block, I would say that Kagetora and Susumu versus D Courage was one of the better ones, along with like every match Jackie and Rita had that I got to see. Dylan, how did you feel A block went in the block play?
Yeah, I thought that they were really going to give De Courage a strong push, like the OGs together again type of deal. I thought they were one of the favorites to win, actually.
Yeah, we all did.
But I actually love what they did. Like, I think it's a really great idea to give Yoshioka a big setback. to start his return here. They didn't make it easy. I mean, they've got all this storyline stuff as well that he's wrapped up in, but just the fact that he's not out here, this quote unquote dream team back together again, just dominating. I think that would have been cool. Don't get me wrong. If they had done that, I would have been totally fine with it. But I actually like what they did in hindsight with it. I thought they were definitely those two and the Paradox team. I thought really delivered big in this block. I don't know why exactly Kagetora was so motivated this tour for some reason, because
we don't know. I'm scared.
yeah. Like nobody knows.
It's
well, even in the other, yeah.
He's holding the triangle gates. He's got something to do.
Yeah, even in the other block, like same thing. Like we'll talk about the Paradox team in the other block too. I thought over delivered in their side, and I think that those two teams are really good. Jackie and Rita had to be like MVP level of the tournament as well. Yeah. Like they were in a lot of the main matches, and I do have to say, you said you didn't watch a lot of this tournament. There was a lot of skippable stuff through this tournament. To be honest,
I did hear that.
Yeah.
I got to night 7, which is the Kagetora and Susumu versus D-Courage main event.
Yeah, that was one of the best matches.
And after that, I couldn't keep up with block play.
Did you watch the main event of that show though?
Oh no, I did not. Because I saw what the main event was and I didn't want to watch it.
Those are the only ones I skipped. I didn't watch any of their matches after the first show. And Jiro.
And they won the block.
Well, that's the sad point of it. Unfortunately.
Let's move over to the B block. B block, kind of interesting going into the final night because we had to do a tiebreaker match. We had Kyo and Kuroshio Tokyo Japan winning the block at 8 points. So Animal Japan won with B block at 8 points. And then we had a shared second place tiebreaker match between Shun Skywalker and Homare and Storm Machine J and Casey. This match was, interestingly, a match that couldn't happen during the actual block play because Homare was sick. So it figured it out well enough so that they could have a tiebreaker match on the final night. And it was done very well, but we'll talk about that later. Other teams here, Yamato and BB Hulk ended at 5, Benkei and Mochizuki Jr. ended at 4, and Masaki Mochizuki and Akihiro Sahara ended at 1. No wins for Akihiro Sahara and Mochizuki. They only had to draw with Yamato and BB Hulk.
I want to say, though, that from the things I had seen, Sahara was great.
Yes.
And he's so fun.
I saw Jay said that he was ready to say that Akihiro had a better tournament than Homare, but then Homare came out on the final night.
Yes, and then they saw Senka. Not DRAGONGATE, but also Rookie.
Yes, yeah. It was interesting. I think Akihiro Sahara really has found a way to stand out, being part of Mochizuki Dojo, and that is, of course, why we wanted Mochizuki Dojo back, is to give them a chance to stand out. But yeah, Dylan, you said Yamato and BB Hulk over-delivered to your expectations.
Yeah, I totally think they did. Coming in, I thought they were one of the teams I wasn't that into. But I think in B block, in general, I think B was not as strong as A from an in-ring perspective. But I thought they did good work all throughout. I thought they were really smart how they handled the Homare and Shun match with Hulk and Yamato. That was the opener on their show, and they did a lot of good work there. I thought them and Ben and Mochi did a good job with each other. Pretty much every team they had good chemistry with, and I think that is what made them stand out. Sahara was phenomenal in his role, and I think that's great. Yeah. For sure. And Mochi's always fun to watch as well, even in his old timer run. I do think that, in a lot of ways, at least for me, the two teams I was expecting to carry the block were Gold Class and Vibes, and I thought that they didn't really deliver that great. I mean, they weren't bad at all, but they didn't really have any memorable matches that were like, haha, this happened, like Jackie and Rita and Abe, or the Courage or anything. They were just kind of on a similar level to the Paradox team, and I expected more from them in that way. And I think that's why the tournament kind of became a drag, because there were all these shows where these teams that were, and I mean, I don't blame Gold Class. I mean, they really got underpushed, in my opinion, in this tournament. So clearly they probably weren't bringing their A game here. Well, but
you would expect, I kind of overhyped Junior and Ben K's chances in my mind in the preview of the tournament because I don't know. I felt like they had more of a promise of a team that could win.
They might just hate Junior though.
Yeah, but it seems like they are kind of cooling off on Junior, which is a big shame.
Yeah, Ben K was the last Dreamgate champion. Before Yamato was the champion, and Junior has been one of their guys that they have given stuff to, last year. They've given consistent.
Ben is also the leader of Gold Class, It feels like they
should have reason to have good expectations for this team.
Yeah. It really feels like they should have done more than 4 points. They really should have been in conversation for the final.
I think if you had swapped them and the Giro team, I think B Block looks a lot better, and maybe they work harder throughout, in terms of booking,
Yeah, but I mean, got to put over Giro. We have him, so got to put him over.
No, nobody. No, you don't. Who said that?
DRAGONGATE, apparently.
The voices in his mind.
But that gets us to Kobe Sambo Hall on the 30th, Rey de Parejas Final night. Probably the biggest Kobe Sambo Hall show in years. And honestly, the most worthwhile Kobe Sambo Hall show in years. This show was a big success. We don't have the exact number on Cage Match at least, but I think they really had a good number because I felt like every time they showed the crowd, it was a pretty huge crowd. Of course, it's Kobe Sambo, so we don't really know what's big there.
Well, I wanted to ask you about this, Sondre, because you brought it up last time, them doing it here. How did you feel about it in comparison to last year in terms of venue?
Korakuen is always going to be more special, I feel like, but I feel like it fit here. The tournament wasn't that big of a deal. It also had a winner that isn't main eventers. They were obviously going to do heel versus heel in the final. So that wouldn't. I don't think they would have wanted to do that in Korakuen. I think it worked better in Kobe, honestly.
I 100% think Korakuen would have rallied behind Homare. Yeah.
But it feels like this tournament is kind of like it was a tour to have a holding pattern going on up until before they start setting up Dead or Alive. Because now on Korakuen, it feels like the goal is to set up Dead or Alive at Korakuen.
Yes, exactly. And then, there's a tremendous amount of storyline potential with this show, which a lot of times it feels like I mean, there's always potential, but this time it feels like they're going to really deliver for real on this next show.
And it would have been awkward to also do the Rey de Parejas on top of that.
Right.
This upcoming Monday, so I'm fine with this. It gave some importance to Kobe Sambo Hall. It was nice. It's the first full Kobe Sambo Hall show and live Kobe Sambo Hall show I've watched in quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I don't understand why they refuse to turn off the lights. That is annoying. They used to do that back in the day. Like, and when I say back in the day, I mean 2 years ago. Like, I don't understand why they started having the lights on the last 2 years. It's weird. And it kind of ruins the vibe of Kobe, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, this show started off with the B Block playoff match, the tiebreaker match. Rey de Parejas 2025 B Block playoff. Strong Machine J and Casey of Natural Vibes versus Shun Skywalker and Homare. Both teams were at 6. The winning team would be facing Jackie Kame and Rita. And the winning team turned out to be Shun Skywalker and Homare when Shun pinned Strong Machine J with the jackknife cradle after 7 minutes and 8 seconds. And this was an explosive start to the show. This set the vibe right away. I love this match. I thought it was a really, really good opener. Not like anything too special, but it was a sprint. It showed that Shun has fantastic chemistry with both these Vibes members, and Homare started off the night really well in this match also. What did you think, Yannik?
I heard you said that this was great, and then I watched it, and it happened, and it was a lot of outside stuff that I thought was kind of bad, and then they wrestled, and then it was over. I really don't see it. Also, my favorites lost. What do you expect?
I'll say that. I'll talk about that with another match where your favorite beat my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, but your favorite has it coming.
Why? I don't get that at all. Anyway, Dylan, what did you think of the opener?
Oh, I thought like it was aggressively fine, like not bad at all. But definitely the thing is, it's really going to be hard to compare this to their like Z-Brat's next match on the show, which I thought like blew this way out of the water.
Oh, yeah, that is true. That is true.
Yeah. But it wasn't bad. Like it wasn't bad. It was a good start to the show.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the match I really was hyping up was the Gold Class versus.
Oh yeah, that was way better.
That was what I was really hyping up for you, Yannik.
Yes, well,
I don't remember this.
Yeah, no, what you said, he's coming from the 2 best matches of his career into the main event.
Oh,
because the main event is what I turned the show on for. Live.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I was very high on this match while it was happening. I don't know. Anyway, maybe because I hadn't watched SMJ and Casey team so much yet, because I didn't watch the tournament that much, and they have just amazing tag chemistry. I hope they get a Twin Gate challenge in the future. Obviously not in the books right now, but in the future. Then it was a Royal Sambo Battle Royal of I'm not going to go through every participant, but Dragon Kid ended up winning with the B-Blade on Yosuke Santa Maria after 8 minutes and 16 seconds. Dragon Kid looked amazing in this match. It was very fun when he came in, and looked like he hadn't missed a step. Only Dragon Kid. And also Yosuke Santa Maria, always awesome to see.
Yeah. I skipped forward to it a bit when I watched this, so I missed that this is the Sambo, and I just it's Maria and Monte in the ring. I want to see this. This is good. And then this is a Rumble. Skip. So I don't know what Kid did.
No, he just wrestled, and it was impressive the way he wrestled, and was still Dragon Kid when he legit 5 months ago got his neck hurt.
Yeah, fair.
Monte, weirdly enough, is just really fun in these Sambo battle royals. He was like the highlight of the Korakuen one, and now he was the highlight of this one. What are they doing with him? God damn it! Moving on to a.
You forgot the MVP of that match.
What
was it? Horiguchi?
Shachiyoko boy.
What did he do?
He existed.
He was Shachiyoko boy.
Yeah, that's all he needed to do.
True.
I see. Yeah. The punched way.
Yeah. That's true. Although to be fair, unlike Punch, he was legitimately one of the best matches ever in the company. So,
how dare you?
I mean, it was 10 years ago, but still.
I mean, Punch was also in one of the best matches ever. I think.
Show me the evidence.
No, I just said I think.
Yeah, you thought wrong.
I appreciate it, Sondre.
Yeah, there's no Punch match that was better than the Jimmys versus Shachiyoko Boy and Yoshino. I will guarantee you that.
No. I just looked up Punch Tominaga's cage match profile. Did you know that he has 2 matches rated by Dave Meltzer? And one of them is a 6-man tag that has 3.5 stars, and the other is 2 stars, 6-man tag.
Wow.
Thank you, Dave. Good reporting of Dave. Dave probably loves Punch Tominaga.
As he should. Everyone should love Punch Tominaga.
Moving on to a singles match, UT versus Mochizuki Jr. 7 minutes and 32 seconds. UT wins with the perfecto. Mochizuki Jr., I feel like should be past this. I honestly feel like Mochizuki Jr. is at the stage of his career where he should be beating UT. I like UT, but I feel like Mochizuki Jr. should win this.
UT is now the gatekeeper of Dragon Gate.
I guess. I mean, they might be setting up KC, Strong Machine J, and UT going for the Triangle Gate. That's fine. Whatever. I still feel like Mochizuki Jr. should be beating him.
Well,
yeah. He wasn't bookstrong in the tournament either.
UT should absolutely go for the Brave Gate. They both should, truthfully. We'll get to the Brave Gate situation. But man, like Flamita is gone for now.
Big Bush Shimizu is Dia Inferno.
Yes, Shimizu is wherever. So they are realistically right now just a trio.
Yep.
And he is stepping up big. And obviously this is UT vs Mochi. This was a really good match.
I kind of got scared he got hurt in this match. Because he was selling his arm pretty well. And weirdly.
As a good wrestler does.
But he was also selling it kind of weirdly, though.
No. He did it perfect. I'm just really happy he got something, as obviously he is my favorite wrestler on this roster. And I just hope, I cling to the hope that this leads to something for either of them.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if it leads to something for UT, this would be okay. But I get the feeling this was just a random match. is my problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Let me drop some facts on you guys here.
Oh no!
So you guys remember the Young Dragon tournament final, right? At the start of the year, he made it to the final. Lost to Kato. We had some discussions. We didn't like how that played out. For good reasons, I would say. Since then, he's had 5 singles matches. Let's go over his record. First, he beats Daiki Yaniguchi. Okay, he gets a win over. Yes. He loses to Kakuta. After that, okay, Kakuta, former champion. That's reasonable. Loses to Gianni Valletta. Then, okay. Loses to Ho-Ho Loon.
I just saw it.
Yeah, Ho-Ho Loon beat him last week. And then
Loon doesn't even have entrance music.
Oh my god, Ho-Ho beat him. It's over.
And that kind of tells you where he's at on the totem pole right now.
Oh, poor Mochizuki Jr.
Oh. How did we get here? Is the question. So here's the thing. If you pretend Junior is Ryo Fuda, then this push makes sense. But the problem is that we already know that he's Junior. Like, he's not on the level. He's not on the level of Daiki or Fuda. Like, he's been a guy for them before.
If you you can't just he is Ryo Fuda is my new favorite quote.
Well, it's true. Like,
it is. I'm not arguing. It is.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, we know better. We know that is not true.
Yeah, I mean, Junior arguably should be where Yuya Kuriku is in DDT right now.
Yes.
Yeah, like, and in our minds, like, let's say he won that tournament and challenged for the Dream Gate, we would all have accepted that completely and probably been super excited about it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, us as fans are not on the same wavelength as people running this company right now.
If he was the one doing the thing Daiki Yanaguchi is doing against Yamato, I would actually think he had a chance.
Yeah, I mean, that would feel like a legit match and not like what it is. At the end of the day.
No.
Yeah, it's sad. But I mean, it's nothing against the match and nothing against UT at all. It's just where Junior's at right now, and I don't really understand it. Help me understand, Jay and other people.
We'll find out. It's okay to hold with him, but it's also like, don't hold too long. Don't let him be like Ryo Fuda in the end.
I would love to help you understand, but I can't.
Just looking at Homare, and I think Junior also should be treated the same way as Homare, but whatever. Moving on.
Yeah.
To the Rey de Parejas 2025 semi-final match. One, B Block first place, Kuroshio Tokyo Japan and Hyo of Animal Japan team versus the Twin Gate champions Kota Minoura and Jason Lee of Zebrats, the A Block second place. 10 minutes and 54 seconds inside cradle from Kota Minoura gets the win over Hyo. And Kota Minoura and Jason Lee, the Twin Gate champions, move on to the final. This is, at least in the modern iteration of Rey de Parejas, the first time the Twin Gate champions have made it to the final.
Ooh. Which
was very cool, very interesting. And immediately when they won, I knew that Homare and Shun are winning, at least against Rita and Jackie, because I was always against. Well, we talked. This match wasn't good. It was a match you could skip. It wasn't bad, but it was also like.
I was about to say that, actually. I thought it could have been worse, actually.
Yeah, it could have been worse, but it's not like we don't have too much to say about it. So
I'm trying to remember if I skipped part of this match.
Nobody blames you.
But what Kota and Jason winning? Why I immediately thought, Jackie and Rita shouldn't win against Shun and Homare, and because we have seen Jackie and Rita versus Kota and Jason twice this year.
Yeah.
At the Gate of Bayside and in the Rey de Parejas. So I was never on board with them winning the tournament. Even though they are the best team in Dragon Gate currently, Jackie and Rita, I wasn't on board with them winning the tournament at all, because we have seen that. We have seen them challenge Kota and Jason. And I thought immediately that Shun and Homare, that's the better story to tell. That's the cooler story to do. The cooler match to do it, because it's fresh. It's the first time we have two heels going against each other in the final of the Rey de Parejas in the modern iteration, and it just felt right. So I'm glad they did it this way, and they did a fantastic way to get Shun and Homare into the final, because the Rey de Parejas 2025 semifinal of Jackie, Kame, and Rita, the A block first place versus Shun Skywalker and Homare, the B block second place, that ended after 14 minutes and 31 seconds with a moonsault knee drop from Shun Skywalker. This is the best match of Homare's career, and it's the best match of the Rey de Parejas this year. This was fantastic.
I agree.
Like, I was floored by this match. They went so fast, and Jackie and Rita, who just are amazing as like a fast-paced team that has they have reached the level of Jason and Jackie in a very short time. And it just tells us that Jackie is like one of the best tag wrestlers this company has ever had. But I was very in love with this. Dylan, what did you think?
Oh, this is clearly the best match of the whole tournament. I thought that they were an amazing pairing with each other. And it continues to show, like, you just watch this match and you think, man, we had these months where Jackie was at Big Hug, and he could have been teaming with Rita. It's instead, and we would have had this amazing run, and everyone would respect them. And hopefully we get there with them, where they get something big out of it. They win the titles or something like that, and they can have a big run. Because if they decide to get behind this team, then they're going to be like tag team of the year level. Because I really think they're among the best tag teams at any promotion at the moment.
Yeah.
And this was the start too of like the overarching story of Shun too, but particularly Homare, like getting this one night run, like which is a very common trope in wrestling, or not very common, but when it's done, it usually works big. Like it pays off big, and I think it definitely did this time. But we got to see that in full force here, and to see this match be what it was, I'm very happy we got to see it. I kind of wish. I mean, it wouldn't have worked as well for the storyline, so I can't say I wish this would have been the final. But I hope that we get this match again at some point on a bigger stage where it gets the spotlight instead of being the second, like the semi-final match.
Yeah.
And like there is so much to this match, not just like wrestling wise. Well, I mean, as I said, I agree. This is, from the bits I've seen, clearly the best match of the tournament. But there's so much to tell with these four, because they are so different. Like Homare and Rita are literally polar opposites. Like it was clear that Rita will be a success because of how charismatic and good that he is, but like body type wise, they are so different, and they are successful because of very different things. And then you have Shun and Jackie. There is so much there already, what they have told us, which they can always just heat up again. So I need this on a big stage, or at least for longer. This was like 15 minutes, 14 something, right?
Yeah.
Man, they can wrestle for another 30, and I wouldn't be tired of it.
Like, I feel like Rita and Jackie have reached the stage that Jason and Jackie was at, like, really fast, and it's weird to be able to say that, because I'd never expected them to have this good of chemistry together. But like, this year they have been like the clear MVPs of the work rate wise of Dragon Gate. It's very nice to see.
It's Rita. That's what he does.
Yeah, true. Also, Homare, the clear goal of this show was to make Homare, and it's crazy how great he is. How quickly he learned to wrestle this heel style, and how quickly he started making the heel style exciting, and being like it, because it's hard to be an exciting heel. It's hard to make people like you doing back rakes and crowd brawling. But
eventually he's going to be the top babyface. Like
yes.
That is his destiny ultimately. Like, this run has been good, but I still think his upside is actually far better as a babyface ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on. This match, watch it. If there's one Dragon Gate match you watch this year, or this month, I mean, this is the match to watch. Moving on to a 8-man tag.
Isn't this the same month as Yamato Casey?
No.
Yeah, that was at the first of the month, right?
Yeah, that was
March 1st.
That was. Man, March was long. March was long. I forgot about all of the stuff that happened this month.
I felt that.
Yeah. Man, wrestling is moving so fast this year. It's weird. Moving on to Yamato and BB Hulk and Susumu and Kagetora of Paradox versus Masaki Mochizuki, Ryufuda, Daiki Yanaguchi, and Akihiro Sahara of Mochizuki Dojo. 9 minutes and 36 seconds. Boston Crab taps out Sahara from Yamato. Yamato, this whole match, Yamato was bullying the rookies, but specifically Daiki. And Daiki was really standing out, being bullied, as the goal was, of course. What Daiki is the best at is getting just destroyed. And Yamato, as we all know, when he really wants to bully someone, he is fantastic at doing it. Everyone else was secondary in this match. I don't remember anything Masaki Mochizuki or Ryufuda did in this match. I just remember Yamato and Susumu being bullies. Susumu specifically on Akihiro. But yeah, I really like this. It was fun. The clear thing to talk about is the post-match. But because the post-match was Daiki taking the microphone and saying that he wants to revive the Brave Gate, and that has been his goal since joining the Mochizuki Dojo. Yamato said that he has he didn't really want to defend the Brave Gate yet. He doesn't think Daiki is ready for it. But Daiki, being very happy with his tag league and getting his first win, he believes he has the confidence for it. And of course, the GM makes it It is Yamato defending the Open the Brave Gate in Korakuen against Daiki Yanaguchi. The Brave Gate is finally back. We was worried. I was worried. I didn't think we would see it this year. Honestly.
Well, it had to come back at some point. You know, like, I mean, Yamato's going to lose the Dream Gate, so like, you know, it has to come back eventually.
I hope he doesn't lose the Dream Gate though in this year.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll see. Like, what happens at World? You know, there's still a long way to go before there. But I would say it's likely that he would lose it. But I mean, I guess anything's possible for sure. Daiki.
Do you think he can do it?
No.
Straight shot. No.
No. I mean, even Jay, like his thing on it, like the thing he posted was like, nobody, like whether it's the GM, Yamato, or even the fans, based on their reaction, think that Daiki has a chance.
But in Korakuen, he used to work there.
That's true. I mean, I think it'll be good. The thing is, he is kind of, to me, I think I've kind of come to a realization about somebody like Daiki. To me, he is of, like, the Punch is of the world.
Oh.
Like, he's like the next-gen Punch Tamanaga.
Oh, no!
Well, I mean, look at it. I mean, he's not jumping over all of these guys like in his class, like Homare and Junior and all of that. Like, he's not as good as those guys. But what he can be is this really big geek that's really fun to watch get the hell beat out of him. He's good at that, and that doesn't sound like a positive, but in this particular company, there's been tons of guys that have made careers out of being that dude, and I think that is his role. Like, I really don't think he has much upside as like a real star.
You think he's more Punch than Genki?
Yes,
I would see him as Genki.
No, Genki was like one of the top wrestlers at one point.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, he's not one of the top wrestlers.
Yeah, but they could be in the future.
No, not over Homare and these other people.
No, but I could see
as well.
I could see Daiki being the Genki of the next generation. I honestly think so.
No.
A very over babyface that loses in big opportunities.
No, but like still no. Like I don't see any way. And this roster being how it is, like I said, look at the DG roster, man.
Yeah.
Look at all of the people on here that he would have to jump to be where Genki was. And who?
What
who is he better than?
Me is that he is Jackie,
but not as good. He's like Punch. Like let's just say he's Punch. Like Jackie can be one of the best wrestlers on the roster. He's like Jackie's more like DK was, like in his prime, to me.
Yeah.
Like who was one of the greats on the roster, but just doesn't get pushed for size or whatever reason. Like that's kind of how I see Jackie and Rita.
Charisma. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's...
Again, that's not a slight on Daiki. Like, because even in this role, Punch has a role in this company and has for decades.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I think that could be that. And I think that puts him above certain guys, like, for sure. On here, like, there's more to him than Fuda. Like, I would say. Like, if you.
Ryu Fuda. I think, I'm just saying, everyone sell their stock. If you still have Ryu Fuda stock left, sell them. Because he is never going to be anything.
No, I mean, and that's, I mean, he's fine. Like, he's kind of like a poor man's Okuda when he was here. Like, you know.
Like, he is really struggling right now.
And poor man's Okuda is so mean.
That is a very
I'm not saying you're wrong, but Okuda of all people.
For the record, Okuda's Brave Gate raid was really good. In my opinion.
Yes. He had one good year in the business.
Well, yes, but
yeah.
And another thing too, being a Punch level guy, that is probably going to be years of pain. But if he does have more than that, especially again, I think the good thing about being in DG is, let's say that what I said plays out, and for the next decade, he's a loser. Like, he's getting his ass beat all the time. And he's very good at it. Again, I think he's very good in that role. Like, he's a great seller and all of that stuff. And he just looks like a geek. Like I said, I think he's really good at that. But if he has more than that, 10 years from now, he'll be able to show that, and break that out. Just like, Yasushi Kanda had a tag team run that was very well received. And he always sucked. Like, he wasn't even good. But eventually, he got into a position, like this company put him into a position to where he could succeed. And I think that's what you have to hope for Daiki.
I think Korakuen is really going to rally behind them.
And that's good. Of course,
he is very over every time they wrestle. They do stuff with him in Korakuen.
Yeah. And that'll make that match really good. Like I said, he's going to be great in his role in that match.
Okay, Dylan. My big thing, if Daiki comes out to the Dragon Gate rookie team, then I will say he has no shot. But if he comes out with new theme and new gear, I will say it's a 5% chance, 10% maybe.
Well, look, here's the thing. He was the one that made this challenge. Like, yes. They could have had anybody go for the Brave Gate, but they chose him. I'm not saying they don't care about him, or that he, like I said, I think somebody like Fuda, they don't even care about that much. Like, I think they do care about him, but I think his best role is as a forever underdog type of player. And he's very talented at that. And I think there are other people above him on the totem pole that have more upside as a winning wrestler. Like, that could be a star. And again, that's not any shot at him. I think they care about him because he is the one that got to make this challenge. If you watch their Prime Zones, like, he's always one of the focused guys on there. Leading his own faction, technically, on there. So I think they do care about him, and again, I know that sounds like a backhanded compliment, but in DG, I think it really works for him. That he could be this guy, this extremely lovable underdog that once every couple of years you give a major singles match to, and the crowd eats it up. And he's going to get a near fall in that Yamato match that everyone bites on, and it's going to be great. But I think that's really his role. I don't think he'll win, but I think that is how the match would put out. And I think maybe they could do something with that. But remember, he hasn't even won a match yet, really, as two.
No.
Like, we also have to acknowledge that as well. And that kind of goes to my point, ultimately. But I don't think that's a bad role for him and his particular skill set and look and all that.
Technically, he won a match by
count out. The tag team match, yes. And which was one of the best matches.
That count
was
out
so
win.
Good.
Yeah, that match was fantastic.
Stellar.
But that count out win was the one that built him enough confidence to be able to ask for the challenge.
There wasn't a praise of Kato and Ishin in that tournament, in my opinion. They've such a good team. Yeah. And that was one of the best matches of the whole tournament.
Love the shitheads.
If Ishin is booked in the right matches during WrestleMania weekend, he's gonna get so over. Anyway, moving on from all of that, of course, Yamato versus Daiki in Korakuen this upcoming Monday.
I think it'll be a really good match.
Oh yeah, it will. It will.
Yeah.
Then the semi-main event in Kobe Sambo was The Courage, Yuki Oshoka, Dragon Dia, Madoka Kikura, and Ryoya Tanaka versus Seabrats, Kai, Ishin, Yoshiki Kato, and Gianni Valletta. 5 minutes and 40 seconds, King Kong knee drop gets the win on Yuki Oshoka. This match was the breakdown of The Courage, and especially Kikura and Yoshioka. And the storytelling here is so well done. I love the way Kikura is kind of like his like facial acting during this whole story has been great, and the way he carries himself well, and like how well he shows how frustrated he is. This is like the best Kikura has been since his run up to winning the title. It's weird. It's clearly like this is what kind of what was missing with him was this starting to kind of tell some story here with D-Courage. There was a lot of infighting between Yoshioka and Kikura of like miscommunication spots. At one point, Yoshioka by mistake hit Kikura. Kikura pushed him, started beating on him. The post-match, Yoshioka got carried out via chain by Gianni Valletta, and Kikura just started fighting with Dia. Dia got involved. It was so good. Everything of it was just so well done. I really liked it. What did you think of all of this, Yannik?
I feel like I missed a lot because, again, I didn't watch a lot of the tournament matches. And I saw kind of online that about the D-Courage stuff. Because obviously we're mutuals with many in the DRAGONGATE Twitter and Bluesky sphere, and they were talking about it and discussing it. And I was like, okay, yeah, they have this
real quick, shout out the fact that the DRAGONGATE community, online community, has moved over to Bluesky for the live show reactions, just because that is where Jay is. I mean, that is such a funny like side part of this year, is that we only live reactions of DRAGONGATE happen on Bluesky for me and like most people that I like to see live reactions from, because that is where Jay is.
Hey, Bluesky is the place to be, I tell you. So I saw this stuff happening, but I didn't have the whole context. And then I saw this match and the fallout, and it was really, really good and well done. And I was like, man, I wish I could care for Kikuta. I wish I was really invested in this. But I'm just not.
No, I see that.
This is to no fault of DRAGONGATE. I just feel like I robbed myself from a lot of enjoyment in this. Because I think I am led to believe that this angle is really well executed.
Dylan, do you think it is?
My main problem with it is just, like we talked about it a little bit before the show, but Kikuta's going away. Like for the Champion Carnival, where with whatever is going to happen on this show, I mean, maybe it'll make perfect sense. You know, if things work out a certain way, like it might work. But just knowing that, I feel like wherever we're going is going to be weird for the next month. And yeah, like that's really my main issue with it. How it's done, I cannot give an opinion on this until I see who is under the Dia Inferno mask. Like, depending on how that plays out, I think that's going to change my feelings on all of this. Pretty much. Like, if it goes certain ways, I think it'll work brilliantly and make all of this great. If it goes in other ways that are stupid, then I'll think this whole angle is dumb. Pretty much.
What if it's Ryufuda?
They finally gained confidence in him. Then he will have broken the one rule of Mochizuki Dojo, of letting Mochizuki know he's joining another faction.
No.
You can't break that one rule.
What if it is Dai Tsuchiguchi again, masked as a
yes
guy?
Forced to do it, yeah.
Master vibe.
What if it's Master Watto?
What if it's Fuminori Abe?
Oh.
No, but seriously, what if it's
Fuminori Abe?
Yeah. What if it's SB Kento? You know, can be anyone. It could be.
Well, that would get people talking if that happened.
It could be Diamante. It could be anyone. You know.
Then who was under that mask the other times?
It could be Ho Holun.
Big. I'm down for a big loon push.
Yeah, clearly they have plans for him since he beat Mochizuki Jr. You know.
That's right. After that big win, you got to follow up.
Big time. Yeah, we'll see. We of course will talk more about that after the main event because this wasn't the last time the Courage drama came into play on this show. Moving on to the main event, the Rey de Parejas 2025 final. Shun Skywalker and Homare of Seabrats versus Seabrats, Kota Minoura, and Jason Lee, the Twin Gate champions. So, this is a very unique final. It's the first time the Twin Gate champions have made it to the final. It's the first time we have unit versus unit in the final. And it's the first time we have heel versus heel and a heel winner of the Rey de Parejas in the 2020s version of the Rey de Parejas. I was very into this match. I thought the first 10 minutes was pretty not much to say because it's just crowd brawling. But I thought when they got into the ring and did their stuff, I thought this was great. Jason was a standout in this match. Homare, of course, was a standout. And he even got the win with the Firebird Splash after 23 minutes. And 46 seconds.
Immediately thought of you, Dylan.
Yeah, that's my move.
Dylan's opinion on this.
Oh, he did it so good too. On top of it, I was so proud.
Yeah, Homare and Shun Skywalker are the Rey de Parejas 2025 winners after a beautiful Firebird Splash after 23 minutes and 46 seconds. And he pinned, not Jason Lee, he pinned Kota Minoura. This was very, very cool. Like, the match earlier was the work rate match of the night. This was the story match of the night for me. I really, really liked this for Homare. It was him kind of crowning himself as a main event level talent with the others in terms of status, pinning one of the Revo Generation Big Six. It was so interesting. Did you guys notice the backbreaker sling blade he did in the finishing stretch?
That was another of my moves, by the way.
What the hell?
Yeah, and he has an emo gimmick on top of it. To be honest,
yeah. Maybe if this is just time traveling Dylan.
Yeah, he's like living my dream right now. If he wants to steal my name for the 450, Shadows Over Heaven, I think he should do it because that also fits him very well.
That would fit him. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Maybe Homare has like. Maybe you have the Attack Titan, and Homare now has the Attack Titan.
I think that's very likely. Actually, I don't even think it's I don't think there's even doubts about it. I think that's totally true. Good point, Sondre.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic.
I love this man.
I love that they went all in on Homare on this show.
Yeah, this was just come out. I would just want to take a second to celebrate that I called the Homare and Shun winning the tournament. Like, I wasn't betting on it, but I at least said I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to Homare already. Mm-hmm. I felt very vindicated. But man, this was just too. Like, they couldn't scream it louder, like, or that Homare is our guy. And so good. Yeah, you put it beautifully. Like, the two matches are totally different. They are trying to succeed at different things, telling us different things about Homare, like the work rate, but also like the drama and the main event kind of ness of him. And he passed both tests, quote unquote, with flying colors. How long was the full night? 43 minutes something for Homare?
Yeah, something like that. It's close to 50 minutes for him. And that is a lot to ask for someone who is 6 months into his career. And he managed to do it.
Absolutely. I think I prefer this match to the other. Just because
really?
of the drama, like not wrestling wise, they're totally different. But the drama, it was just so well executed.
Yeah. And the stakes were higher, not just because it was the final, but because of the feud between.
Yeah, I mean, Jason was just out there doing his thing. He's incredible, man. I've just thought everyone did their role so well, because it's not easy to have Shun Skywalker in a match like this and it not being about him. And
good point.
It still felt like natural about it.
And I thought it was so good that Shun got the wins every step of the way leading up to the final, and then Homare came through in the clutch.
Yeah.
You know, he finally got a finisher, guys, too. Not only was it my move, but just the fact that he got a finisher is a huge step forward for him.
But mostly that it's your move.
Mostly that it's my move, yes. And like I said, he did it very, very well, and it's a cool-ass move. I may be biased. But still, I just love that they gave him that point in the final of a tournament. Like, everything about this. And, like, bring it back to what I said about Daiki. You know, yes, I had him as the perennial loser, but the great thing about that is when he gets big wins, it'll be a big deal. You know, like, it makes it memorable. And the fact that they saved Homare's big win, not that he was a loser before, but really Shun was the one carrying the team. But he won in the final over Kota Minoura, somebody who has been pushed to my chagrin for many years now as a main event level player. Like, they didn't take the easy way out. Like, they could have had him pin Jason, and that would have been great, and we would have loved it. But they said no. Like, we are making this about Homare. This is not Shun's night. This is not about their feud. This is Homare going 3 for 3 in an epic night that he, like you said, whatever. If there was if this was all some test on him, like you said, Yannik, he passed with flying colors, the most flying colors you could have. I would say. I thought he was phenomenal on every match, and what you said, Sondre, was so accurate. Both of these last two matches were great in completely different ways. I would say. Like, obviously, like, for a pure match, the other match I thought was a lot better. Even the closing sequence, I thought Minoura was a little shaky working with Homare at the end until we got to the very nitty-gritty at the end. I didn't think it was, like, super well executed, but it didn't matter. Like, the story of it was what mattered, and everything came across so strong by the end. I mean, this man, it feels like he's got limitless upside. Like, for the company. Like, it feels like if he doesn't become the face of the company, he's had a disappointing career. Like, that's like, that's such strong expectations to put on somebody who's not even been here for 7 months.
It sucks to have to talk about him this way, but we have to talk about him this way because it, like, again, it is like we were feeling about Takuma. It's like we were feeling about SP Kento. It is kind of like how we were feeling about TN Revolution. And I
think that was a better comp. The other two I never thought would be the face of the company. Like I said,
I thought Takuma had a chance.
He reminded me of DK. Like I said, he's another one that I would put in the Jackie Rita range, where he'd be like this amazing worker, but I never thought he could be the top star of the company. I mean, he was so early. We only had
they were Yoshino and Doi. SBK was Doi, Takuma was Yoshino.
That could have worked. I mean, again, that's very high expectations. I mean, I guess Homare also we have high expectations for as well. TN Revolution, I do agree with, though, because he was a guy that felt like, okay, things are really shaken up now that he's back. He could be a top star.
Yeah.
And who's to say? Like I said, with Homare, he may fill him out.
They are on the right track. And, of course, should not be forgotten, they beat the Twin Gate champions in the final of the tournament that was set up to set up the next challengers for the Twin Gate. So it should be interesting to see how they do the rematch. Because Shun, after winning this tournament, immediately said that he considers the Seabrat's beef squashed.
So, good for him. But he's finally a big man.
Sure.
And then, of course, Shun and Homare's celebrations got interrupted by D-Courage. D-Courage came out. Dia, Edrioya came out specifically. Kikuta kind of was standing near the curtains, and Yoshioka was nowhere to be found. Probably still chained up by Gianni.
Oh.
But the MVP of this whole thing was by far Madoka just standing there.
Deadpan, yeah.
I cracked up.
That's what I'm saying. His
That's what he's best at, standing there with no emotion.
His facial reactions during this whole story is just amazing. But yeah, Dragon Dia said that he wants to prove that Inferno isn't Yoshioka, so he wants an 8-man tag versus Seabrats, where Inferno, he wants Inferno to face the Courage. Shun said that Inferno is Yoshioka, so that we can't have an 8-man tag. It has to be 6-man. So a 6-man tag was set for Korakuen Hall of Shun Skywalker, Kota Minoru, and Dia Inferno versus Dragon Dia, Ryo Tanaka, and Madoka Kikura. This is the main event in Korakuen and should probably give us some answers. Hopefully. And as Jay said, the clear way to make this easily handled is by having Yoshioka ringside. However, Yoshioka is now facing Gianni Valletta in a special singles match earlier on on the Korakuen card.
I love this. Like, this is clearly going to lead to Yoshioka getting destroyed and taken out. So he cannot be ringside for the main event. That gives you an excuse and will play into whatever is going to happen with this Dia Inferno.
Yeah.
And then he has a amazing save on Dia, who's about to be attacked by whatever.
No, yes, that feels to me pretty clear that is the end game of this, is that Yoshioka is not the masked man, obviously. Yeah. But I thought it was so smart to put this match with Valletta. It gives you such an easy out, to not have, to continue this storyline.
Yeah.
Great booking. Like, everything about this tournament, I didn't love it from a match quality standpoint. But I would say DG is kind of cooking right now when it comes to storylines and stuff like that. Like, this has to be one of the best companies going, in my opinion. Like, they're doing so many great things. And unlike, there's before...
I said that last year. I have felt that way for over a year now, honestly.
Well, the difference is, this is not leading to a big heel push, unlike last year. Yes, it felt like that for a brief period, and then Big Hug became the focus for a little while, and we had to deal with that. And thankfully, Yamato fixed all that. And I mean, to be honest, at the start of this year, this didn't feel like that hot of a promotion. That whole Jay, title match they had, it wasn't as great. Yeah. But from a storyline perspective, it didn't really feel that hot overall.
Yeah, they had a very weird January. I agree. That is true.
And February was kind of like a throwaway month, practically. Yeah. But heading into April, heading into Dead or Alive,
dude, this is the time when Dragon Gate really starts cooking. Last year also. The year before, always in the lead up to Dead or Alive, they are really creative about setting up whatever is happening in the cage.
Yeah, and like I said, even then, I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong, because so much was built around Jackie, and I love that. And I like in hindsight, it's kind of 2020, and that I hated how that all turned out. Yeah. But definitely going into it, the Jackie stuff was good. Monte as champion, I didn't like even then. Though, and here Yamato feels like a strong champion, even though he's outside of this Z-Brats universe right now.
Yeah,
and who knows? Maybe he'll get into that.
It feels like so much is going on with Z-Brats. They are feuding with D-Courage. They have this whole Dia Inferno thing, but on the side, it is the internal strife between Shun and Kota, and it's going to be so interesting to see how they do that in Korakuen. Because of course, Kota is in the main. I am very interested to see how it turns out.
And they basically have no choice but to have something major happen by having Inferno in the match. They're not just going to go out there and just have a match and then Inferno just walks away and they just leave. Something has to happen.
But now since he's wrestling, since Dia Inferno is supposed to be wrestling in this, he kind of has to have the body of Yuki Yoshioka for it to be believable for the match.
That's a good Chiguchi, I tell you.
so it can't be Big Bull Shimizu. Even though I would love that.
No, they do a live swap. That would be hilarious.
Imagine Big Bull Shimizu coming out under the Dia Inferno mask and Shun being like, "Yeah, Yuki Yoshioka under this mask."
That would be very funny if that happened. But that was kind of similar. Like what you brought up, Yannik, was kind of similar to Striga's idea for this match, which was Kikuta and Inferno would brawl to the back. And then later in the match, Inferno would run out again. But it was Kikuta under the mask.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Kikuta and Inferno brawled to the back, and then at the end of the match, Inferno ran out, and it was actually Kikuta secretly under the mask.
That would be so dumb.
It is. I think that's my only issue with this feud, is that the logical recourse they're setting up is Kikuta turning. But that would be stupid based on how the storyline has played out.
It can be two people turning.
That could work. Yeah, that's a good point. I threw out Tanaka as the one that could use a shake-up. Like, he's kind of the forgotten man. Yeah.
It can't be Tanaka because they're wrestling again.
What if they just do something? Well, maybe they do the same thing just with Tanaka. Tanaka rolls to the back.
They do it multiple times.
Yes. Yes.
But it cannot be Tanaka. Look at his hair. It's too glorious. He cannot be healed.
And he can't fit all that hair under the mask.
He has long hair all of a sudden. Do something.
Masked wrestler.
I hate that I'm gonna be at the dentist during this show.
Oh, that sucks.
I can't watch it.
But but it's fine. You should also wish that there will be a show when the bill arrives for the dentist.
Yeah.
But do you think it's possible they just do I guess somewhat of a bait and switch, where for some reason they come out and Inferno's not there, actually. There's nobody under the mask, and they come for some reason he got stuck in traffic, so something like that.
Now I'm just picturing the Dia Inferno mask sitting in the car.
Yes. Yeah, he tried to drive from Kobe. He didn't take the train. That idiot, Dia Inferno, didn't take the train and tried to drive to Tokyo.
He is driving in the Tokyo Dome area. What a fucking idiot.
It's Mask C now. We got Dia Inferno at home. It's Mask C.
Please, someone make a meme of Dia Inferno driving a car. Vote for us.
I just think about the Poi and Tom driving thing now. There's Korakuen.
Okay, go on Google Maps, take a screenshot of Tokyo Dome city area, at the street that leads up that's next to Corkin, that's under the bridge. Have it be a lot of rush traffic, and just have the Dia Inferno sitting in the car.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that moron. Why didn't he take the trains?
I actually never saw that much traffic along that road, but whatever.
Yeah, it was quite.
It goes pretty fast there.
That is the kind of dumb excuse Shun would make up, though.
Yeah, that is 100%. 100%.
Yes, but that at least dodges them having to. If ultimately whoever this is leading to is a member of the Courage, which we've been led to believe it is, that would at least give us an out for this match. But I kind of just would rather them just reveal it here. Like, I mean, you set up this match, you've gone this far to have him in the match. Whatever this is leading to, I think they should just shoot their shot. No?
If Kikuta isn't turning, have him say, like, I'm leaving the Courage, I'm leaving Dragon Gate to go to the Champion Carnival.
Yeah, that would make perfect sense. And then that could actually, if they do like a bait and switch type of deal, that would give him plausible deniability for like a whole month, pretty much. Yeah. Like he'd be under the radar for a month while all that's going on. So I like that idea too, actually. But actually, there's a lot of this that's actually not that dissimilar. You mentioned it last year, Sondre. The big build-up going into that cage was Jay seeming like he was about to turn on Vibes, which they obviously reconciled in the cage in a great moment, like a very well-done moment. But that's kind of where we're at with Kikuta right now. Where like everything is pointing towards him being done with this group. But I don't think it's impossible they don't just reconcile at the end of it. Especially if their end goal to all this is Yoshioka going for the Dream Gate months from now. I think that would be cool. Like that would make sense for Kikuta to reconcile then. Than to have this other spin-off. And maybe that's not their goal, don't get me wrong. But if it is, I think that's a good path for them. Like kind of bridge that gap between them that's happened. But otherwise, if it's not Kikuta, realistically, who do you think is behind all this? Because we don't really have any options besides Kikuta that have been teased, really.
Shun, like it's a Masky thing, where it's whatever.
Yeah, it's just a throwaway. Yeah,
it was just to instigate. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that would be fine.
I honestly think Shun it just being Shun instigating could work.
Yeah.
If it leads to Kikuta allying with him or whatever. Just being frustrated and saying whatever.
What gets me thinking is because I was pretty sad on the next chapter of Zebrats being Minoru and Kikuta for like a long while now.
Yeah.
And like so Kikuta was sad, but Minoru actually losing to the Shun team as title holder and to Homare makes me really quite unsure. Like Minoru cannot usurp Shun right now. It just doesn't work.
Right. And I don't love the idea of either Minoru or Kikuta as like a leader role.
Oh, I know. that doesn't fly with you.
How about this though? Let's say whoever this is, like this kind of plays into what you guys just explained with him just being a shit stirrer for the Courage.
I mean, that's what Shun has done for 4 or 5 years now.
Oh, but what if who he brings in is someone that inadvertently pisses off Minoru? Like, that's what leads to a big split. Like, you're bringing this guy into Zebrats? Like, whoever this is. Allegedly. Like, it turns into the impetus for the Minoru and Shun battle. Like, whatever's going to happen with that.
No.
I mean, I don't know who that would be. Who's the enemy of...
La Estrella.
Does he hate Minoru?
I don't know.
Or does Minoru hate him? Is it one-sided heat?
Yeah, Masquerade.
Like, who's an enemy of Minoru?
You.
It was me.
the Western audience.
Homare's mentor. Like, who do you think taught him that Firebird Splash, guys? That's Shadows Over Heaven. He did the Jupiter Coconut Cyclone. He did the Shadows Over Heaven. I had Minoru. He cannot believe it. He listens to all of our shows, obviously. And he's like, this guy?
You are Aaron looking down at his father. That is you on the water.
Man, you are.
What are you doing? What are you doing, Homare? You're supposed to turn on Kota.
You are on fire with the AOT references this show. Like one of your strongest performances. One of your strongest performances.
You're setting me up way too easily with them, though.
Okay, maybe that's true. But yeah, just that's something to think about too. Like maybe it could be somebody that is an enemy of Minoru's of some sort that like Shun goes off his rocker and just brings him in, and that sets up something. Again, to repeat what we said on the Lariat, Striga's idea was, and I'm going to throw a couple of things out here because one of them I really love. I know you guys haven't heard the show yet, but I want to see your reaction. The first one is he thinks that the Dead or Alive cage match, the main event could just be the tag title match between the two Zebrats teams, and you could have the faction on the outside dealing with that, which I think is a good idea. Like it gives you a unique take on the cage match this year. It's not the old school one that I was calling for, but I still like the idea.
Yeah, I liked it.
The second one, which was a hot take and one that I think is like could be actually genius if they play it right, even though it's not what I would do probably. His idea is that if that happened, Homare would turn on Shun in the match inside with Minoru and break his heart.
Yeah.
Like that overwrites his. Basically, like his idea was that him winning the final gives him the idea that he has now surpassed Shun. Pretty much, it doesn't need him anymore. If you want to turn Homare into a complete piece of shit, pretty much, and do that, I think that would be a very good dynamic for Shun turning babyface, though. Like, if that's what's most important to them.
Are we ready for Shun to turn babyface, though?
I've been ready for a long while.
Yeah, this is something we speculated on for, like, at least a year.
No? Yeah, we have.
The question I'm asking is, are we ready for a face Homare? No. Actually, no. That's wrong. I was already thinking further. Because in my mind, it's always Homare gets kicked out with Shun alongside.
Yeah.
Because Homare is still the Shun superfan. That would be a huge shock.
Yeah, but I think if you ask me, so you mentioned Kikuta and Minoru, Homare as the leader has way more upside than either of those two as the leader of a group.
The thing is, the RED Zebrats thing worked because SBK was already the big deal.
No.
And Homare, it just isn't yet.
He's on the road too. But he's not that popular.
Sure,
he's not as popular.
He hasn't won the title yet. Like SBK was the Brave Gate champion before, and was like the center of the promotion for a year.
And he was the mouthpiece for ages by then.
Imagine if Daiki.
That's a problem.
Imagine if Daiki somehow upsets Yamato, and then Homare just beats him on the next show.
That would be great. Like that would be
amazing.
That plays right into my punch idea for him, though, too, because that, like I said, every win he gets should be very rare, but big deals when they do it. And then to stab him in the heart would be like a great. Again, but this is another issue with Homare. We don't really know how he's going to fare as like a talker. Like he doesn't really cut promos, right? So we don't know what his deal is. He's an emo.
He doesn't talk anyway.
Well, exactly. It fits his gimmick now, but that's not. I've lived this life, Yannik. The emo wrestler gimmick, it has to change eventually. You have to start talking eventually,
but
especially if he's going to
be. Do you think he will also become a podcaster and talk entirely too much?
No.
Maybe so.
Homare, the only one Homare talks to or drops promo about is his Naruto, Akihiro Sahara. You know, he will trash talk Akihiro Sahara to the end.
How dare you compare this man to Sasuke? He is so far above Sasuke level, it's crazy, brother. So do not compare him to Sasuke.
I have compared him to Eren Yeager and Sasuke Uchiha in the same episode. I have compared him to the biggest two emos in anime.
And Eren is a great character, and Sasuke is a huge prick. So,
yeah, I would say they're both pricks, but yes.
I mean, Eren is at least a likable prick. Sasuke is like, I want you to die. Like, what level? And he should have died for all of the crimes he committed and got let off scot-free for.
True.
But that's a whole other conversation. But, again, if Homare is going to take that next step, and that's kind of why, I don't agree with that idea. I'm with you guys that Homare as Shun's, like, has his, fan, student, right-hand man, whatever. It is too good of a dynamic right now to pass up on. But I do think that would be great, like, that would invert all of our expectations if Homare, like, just stabs Shun in the back. And, again, that would make Shun a babyface, like, pretty... To me, Shun... And this is another kind of maybe a realization I've had about Shun himself. I think his character is among the best in wrestling because, like we just talked about, this man literally just took a clean loss to Bushi, of all people, and lost nothing. Like, it didn't hurt him at all.
Yeah.
He could lose to literally anybody on this roster, and like he could lose to Problem Dragon tomorrow clean. And he would still feel like the biggest deal in the company without question. He's kind of like, he defies all logic as a character. Like, he doesn't necessarily have to be a heel or a babyface. He's just nuts. He's like this ultra chaotic asshole that we all love for some reason.
That he will, he gets kicked out, and what we get is balloons and cutters. No, balloons
Okada. Yeah, I fear more Eita. I fear him losing, and it not going to him starting a babyface faction. I really fear the idea of Shun getting kicked out and turning babyface or whatever, and them not following up on it like they did with Eita. That is my biggest fear.
Shun wrestling for Noah.
Yeah, Shun starting to do... I think it would be New Japan, but Shun starting to do more freelancing immediately after he gets kicked out. I would be very not happy then.
Or that's for him to go back to how he was before his turn.
I mean,
You mean boring?
Yes.
If you mean Masquerade Shun...
Yeah.
Masquerade Shun is who he is right now, just turned up to 11. Masquerade Shun, the character Masquerade Shun.
Arguably, he became this Shun as when Masquerade was still around, but like Masquerade Shun to me is like start or like early champion Shun, where nothing of this was around.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, if he just goes back to being clean-cut Shun, I think that would be a real disappointment.
I want to say something about Shun. I have been kind of saying it this entire year almost, because we are in the 5th year of the 2020s.
That's true.
I hate you. Why would you say that?
It's hard to believe, right?
And I have been thinking, like, because when we've made it to halfway into a decade, you start to think back. And I think Shun Skywalker is the leading wrestler of the decade for me. Not because of match of the year contenders or whatever else, because of interest, because of story. Every month, since I started watching Dragon Gate again in 2021, every month has been interesting with Shun Skywalker. It's weird. makes sure to have something going on every month of the year, and it's so weird because I don't see how Dragon Gate is around without Shun Skywalker from the last 5 years.
I kind of said maybe somewhat. Yeah, go on, Yannik.
He is like the definition of the MVP discussion.
Yeah.
Where, like, if you took this person out of a company, where would the company be? And yeah, totally. I mean, you're definitely wrong. Yeah, then I cut you off.
But no, I mean, you made exactly like what I was going to say. Like, I made that exact point at the year-end awards for the Lariat about advocating for Shun as MVP. Like, if you take him out of Dragon Gate, there's no other wrestler that means more to their company than he does in terms of storylines and interest, as Sondre was saying. I don't think it's even close.
I love when I have the same opinion as you. You say the same thing, but eloquently.
I can't come up with any other wrestler that has had my interest every month for the last 4 years. It is insane.
And I think we have to start talking about him as an all-time DG wrestler in terms of that as well.
Yeah.
They're at a great spot, and I think another thing that helps this year compared to last year, when we were talking, mentioned it, or the year before, with the addition of Homare and even Sahara. Like, I love Sahara. Like, I mean, he's a great wrestler. He's not, he's not positioned like Homare, where he's like the next guy, pretty much. But sometimes being not being the chosen one is a positive in its own way. Like, it can lead you to delivering big. And a lot of these guys, even Fuda, again, like we were kind of hard on him earlier, but who would have guessed this Shun would have came out? Like, when he won that title the first time and the match kind of fell apart against Ben K and the injury and all of that, that Shun, no one could have predicted this was in him then.
Yeah.
No.
And I think that's a great lesson for any young wrestler who's maybe stuck in the undercard or anything like that. If you can find something, not necessarily like him, it could be really anything, but if you can find something, whether you're a DDT guy or a DG guy or any company, like, you could change your whole career and man,
all you have to start doing is just put on some neon lights in your hotel room, turn off the lights, and start talking into the camera for 40 minutes.
Another bit of my influence into the Zebrat's world, for sure.
But yeah, we have Corkin this upcoming Monday. The card is pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool. I'm super hyped for the show, Sondre.
Yeah, I am also very hyped for the show. The card is as follows. Opening match, Dragon Kid, Naruki Doi, Kagetora, and Don Fuji versus Yasushi Kanda, Toru Washi, Problem Dragon, and Punch Tominaga. Putting the legends in the first match on the card. Nice.
That's interesting, yeah.
Then Strong Machine J, UT, and Luis Mante versus Masaki Mochizuki, Ryu Fuda, and Akihiro Sahara. Then a big 10-man tag, which could be a telling thing. Kai, Jason Lee, Ishin, Yoshiki Kato, and Homare of Seabrats take on Ben K, Rita, Jackie Kame, Mochizuki Jr., and Hyo. Teaming with all of Gold Class.
Woohoo.
Yay. Then, singles match, Yuki Oshoka versus Gianni Valletta. Yuki should be destroyed. Probably.
Or, I mean, if they wanted to go the opposite route, this would be like Yuki's first win, but like, singles win back.
Yeah.
That tells a story in and of itself. Yeah.
Then BB Hulk 20th anniversary special 6-man tag. BB Hulk, Jinsei Shinsaki, Yoshitomo Shimogashi versus Susumu Yokosuka, Casey, and Katsuo. That's a nice match. That's really fun.
if you want to see a recent Jinsei Shinsaki match, you should turn into the latest DDT Beer Garden or Ueno Park show. The main event. Yeah, main event. It also has John Cena, The Rock. Actually, Big day for unproblematic Asian Loki, aka Keiko Nakamura. I love Chris for this one. Yes, it has Fumilori Abe as Shinsei Shinsaki, and it's incredible.
Okay. That's funny. Oh man, Beer Garden. Just looking at these cards for the Ueno Park shows, this is so Beer Garden without calling it Beer Garden. It's funny.
Yes.
Then semi-main event in Korakuen is for the Open the Brave Gate title. Yamato defending his first defense versus Daiki Yanaguchi. No Dream Gate on the line here, only Brave Gate. And then, of course, the main event, 6-man tag, Dragon Dia, Madoka Kikura, Ryo Tanaka of D Courage versus Shun Skywalker, Kota Minoura, and maybe Dia Inferno.
But yeah, this was a very top-heavy show.
Oh yeah, of course.
But a lot's going to come out of it. This is a setup show. This is going to set the build for Dead or Alive and probably a ton of things in the future. I mean, I was thinking about it too. We're in the midst of something. It's very possible that all of this could lead to the next heel unit in DG.
Yeah,
whether
it's what it should do.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe ending Z-Brat's line and changing it to something else. I really think Homare and Sahara. So when I first came into DG. Around 2009 or so from DG USA. To me, Shingo and Hulk those are my guys. I've always said before, Hulk was my guy. That rivalry was so strong. That's one of the best generational rivals to me. And I really think Sahara and Homare could really be that for this generation. That Shingo and Hulk rivalry in the future. And look at what we're in the midst. We're on the ground floor of these things. And Yamato's reign, like I mentioned, if it ends at World, or like you said you wanted to see, maybe all the way till next year, that's going to set the stage for a great new champion because of Yamato's strong reign so far. So we're on the ground floor of so many epic things being set up in the future, and I think that's a wonderful thing for the company.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's a vibe I don't get from any other company going right now.
I 100% agree. I watch very little wrestling this lately. I watch DDT, I watch Dragon Gate. I don't even finish Dragon Gate or DDT. I watch the top stuff.
No, I understand. I mean, life gets in the way sometimes.
And that's basically the only wrestling I watch. That and Actress Girls. I wish I had time to catch up on other stuff, but I don't. And maybe I'll have some time during Easter, which is approaching. But yeah,
you said you want to watch WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean that is WrestleMania.
That is true.
Thank you, Yannik, because Dragon Gate have announced the full cards for the 2 WrestleMania week shows.
Oh, okay.
That we have no idea if we'll be streamed live or not.
One is probably Collective Thriller thing, and the other we have no idea.
Yeah, one is Thriller thing.
If I understood Jay correctly.
Yeah, but Jay also said that both shows will end up on the network in the future anyway, but on a very big delay. But we have full cards for the Dragon Gate USA Rebirth show on the 16th of April, which is the Wednesday. The Wednesday. This will be streamed on Thriller TV probably as part of the collective package or whatever. In the Moon and View Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas, it is a 6 match card, starting off with Ho Ho Lun versus Reese Maddox. From what I have seen of Reese Maddox on Cage Match, he is a wrestler who has wrestled.
He is a wrestler, period.
Yes, that's all that
He debuted in 2024, so he's a rookie.
Okay, yeah,
and he has wrestled less than 20 matches.
That's cool.
According to Cage Match, he has wrestled 15 matches. So it should be interesting to see him. Then we have a 6-man tag, Sovereign, which is Evan Rivers, Judas Icarus, and Travis Williams, versus El Kukui, La Estrella, and Ultimo Dragon. Of course, Ultimo Dragon had to be on the card somehow.
I love this match. Sovereign are really cool. Love Travis Williams and Judas Icarus. And it is the glorious return of El Kukui. I hope he breaks another ring.
Oh, I don't, because WrestleMania weekend shows are already too long. Then we have a 3-way tag. Dragon Gate USA alumni Rich Swann and Willie Mack are back to face Ben Kay and Hyo and Alec Price and Jimmy Lloyd. Originally, Cole Radrick was going to be in this match, but he got injured, so he can't. But Jimmy Lloyd is taking his place in this 3-way.
Cole Radrick got it rough. He tore his ACL, and I think the meniscus, and then immediately got laid off by his shoot job and lost insurance.
So I feel so bad for him then.
Yeah, that shit is so fucked up,
and especially that sucks, especially when USA is about to enter another recession.
Yeah, I would have liked to make a joke about not needing to watch Cole Radrick because he is one of my least favorite wrestlers. But man, I feel for him. There is a GoFundMe out there to his aid. We can only hope for the best for him, man. That shit is rough.
Yeah.
Then we have Casey versus Marcus Matters. Marcus Matters last year stood out a lot on the Dragon Gate WrestleMania weekend show. And this year, I think he should also be doing that. Unfortunately, very sad is that he has been WWE ID'd.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say too. Another WWE cross promotion here with DG.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought that Marcus Matters should have come over last year. Sadly, Dragon Gate probably can't afford him. So,
I don't know if you guys. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but one time, like I said, when this is way back, this is like 15 years ago now, probably. But they actually did have a tryout for Dragon Gate guys in WWE with like BB Hulk and all these guys. Like they invited over. Yeah. Like nobody. I don't think anybody got signed except for Tozawa, and that didn't come until later. Yeah. But yeah,
they're such idiots.
I mean,
yeah. Did you see his post on Twitter where he's like, "Maybe I've been doing this too long." Like Tozawa said, "I've been wrestling too long." It's because he had his anniversary recently. He's like, "Man, why am I doing this?"
Remember, Paul Levesque's favorite promotion, Dragon's
Gate. Yeah, Dragon's Gate. Yeah, I'm gonna bring that too.
Did he spell it with the space, like 2 words?
Yeah,
an S.
And with an S.
Yeah, I heard the S.
What if Regal's in the crowd? He's like, "Oh, that KZ." Like he feels like a real up and coming young talent.
Yeah. I mean, he would be on the NXT champion age limit. So yeah,
exactly. Like he fits right in with Ethan Page and those guys.
Dream match. Remember Bob.
Speaking of dream match, this is a dream thing for 2 wrestlers, because this semi-main event is Neo Genesis from Stardom, Asumi and Starlight Kid, 2 lifelong Dragon Gate fans, taking on Hate, Konami, and Natsuko Tora. This is, I remember when they announced this, and I just saw it, and I was like, yeah, the girl. I'm so happy for them. They must be geeking out so much.
Yeah.
Like, Asumi and Starlight Kid, they are the obvious two who would be booked on the Dragon Gate show, and you know that this is just awesome for them.
They had to change it because they're wrestling at the big show, like the week after for Stardom. Instead of a singles match, they're like, "Nah, you need to do a tag match." Yeah.
Oh yeah. Isn't Asumi challenging her?
Yeah. That's the match. But I mean, for the first time ever, Azumi's getting a white belt shot.
Yeah, for the first time ever.
About such a shame. It's such a shame.
Yeah, it's terrible. But like I said, she's a huge veteran, but she's actually still really young. So
No. The fact that Asumi, that Kid is champion before Asumi even got to challenge for it makes me mad.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love that this match is on the card. Shame it's Tora and Konami, but what are you gonna do about it?
Well, I think it would have been better if they had a starter version of the main event, kind of. Like, if you were going to do this, like a Dragon Gate style match.
Switch their opponents with Hanan and Saida, who's wrestling on the night after.
Yes, and I would have wanted it to be a six. And I would have wanted it to be a trios match. Like, I think that's, like, to the Western fans, that's the traditional DG match. Like, I would have liked to have seen a 6-woman tag. You could have put these two. I mean, they have a bunch of people coming over. If they wanted to do that,
they have a show.
Yeah, they have their own show. So, like, they could have done a 6-woman tag here. That would have been like, who are all the high speed people that we could have? And you're telling me you couldn't fit May Sarah in this? She should.
I mean, yes, they should do a lot of stuff, but Sarn was really done this Mania weekend.
Okada.
They aren't sending any main eventers, basically.
No. We know they're not doing that. So here's the starter.
What are you talking about? They're sending Starlight Kid. She's a main eventer.
They are not sending Kamitani, Bayu,
or
Tom.
Okay, so here's who's coming over. Okay, Azumi, Hanako, the true main eventer that we need. Maika as well. Hanan, Konami, as we know. Mina Shirakawa, Momo Watanabe, Natsuko Tora, Saida, Starlight, Suzu Suzuki, Shuri, and Tekla.
Okay.
It should be Tekla, yeah.
No.
You could have had Hanan and Ida, like you said, in there. So that's 4 of the 6. Maybe Suzu could have been another one.
Yeah.
And Momo has an audience with there. If you could have just thrown over Mayu as well, you could have put her in there. Just added a person or two on.
Another Dragon Gate nerd.
Yeah, put Mayu and Maysara as the other two, and put Hanan and Ida. And you could have put Mayu with Kid and Azumi, and Sarah with the other two. It would have been perfect. Or Sarah, or switch those around.
No. Sarah would be teaming with us.
Yeah, with Starlight and Azumi. Yeah, they're in the unit. Yeah, exactly. So Mayu with the other one. Excuse me. So yeah, that would have been a perfect Dragon Gate showcase match for Stardom. Yeah.
It seems like they are trying to do a Dragon Gate showcase match in the main event though on this rebirth.
They are.
Ishin, Kota Minoru, and Shun Skywalker of Zebrats will be taking on Paradox, Dragon Kid, Susumu Yokosuka, and Yamato. So I feel like they will try to go all out here in the main event.
As they should. I am looking forward to one thing in this match and one thing only, and that is how the whole audience will be in love Ishin. Yeah.
Drunk Americans reacting to Ishin would. I look so forward to this.
Yes, if Ishin does what he always does, and I am not led to believe that he will do anything else, he will be the star of the Mania weekend.
We should hype him up like he's Shingo Takagi to people who just discover him. We should hype him up like he's like the second coming of Shingo, just to like really.
we were telling the bookers. We were telling.
Yeah. We were. I will be talking about those matches also. We should.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's a weird dynamic in that main event though. Like old baby faces and young heels.
And Shun and Kota, which we don't know where they will be at this point.
I don't think that will be in that.
Yeah, it's non canon.
Yeah,
but yeah.
And I mean, yeah, it's just not. I don't know. Like, it's not an ideal Dragon Gate main event, in my opinion. But
on night 2, though, which is Dragon Gate USA and Pro Wrestling Revolution, the Gate of Revolution crossover show, on the 18th of April, in Meet Las Vegas venue. It is a crossover with Pro Wrestling Revolution, so there are those kind of matches there of their talents. The opener, for example, Ray Horace and Varia Morales versus La Migra, Colt Stevens, and Dave Dutra. I have not heard of any one of these except for Colt Stevens.
You have Ray Horace? Ray Horace?
And Ray Horace. Ray Horace I've heard of.
Yeah.
Ray Horace was really good at some point in time.
He is 40 years old. What the?
Yeah, he's
time flies.
Yeah.
Man.
That like Lucha Underground was a decade ago.
Yeah. And then Wing Gory, Hanan and Saida versus Hyan and Charisma.
Sounds charismatic.
I have heard of Hyan, but I have not heard of Charisma.
I like Hyan.
Hyan's good.
I think she's one of the better like indie wrestlers, like, especially women's wrestlers.
Charisma is a luchadores from. I think she's pretty new. Oh no, she's wrestled since 2015. Never mind.
Anyway, Saida, huge DG fan. Really happy for her.
Yeah, Hanan is also like. Let's not kid around. All of the Stardom girls are the huge Dragon Gate nerds.
Anyway, next match, most important one.
Mike Sadell and Willie Mack, two Dragon Gate USA alumni.
Mike Sadell kills me. You have a brother. It's literally all you have in this business.
He wrestled in DG before.
Yeah, I know.
Did Mike Sadell wrestle in Dragon Gate USA? Yeah, he did. Yeah. He actually wrestled in actual Dragon Gate also. So.
Yeah, he did. I remember.
It's very funny that they couldn't get Matt Sydal, but they got Mike Sydal. Do you think they don't know the difference? That would be amazing. Rio Saito and Dragon Kid are like, I'm sure this is Matt Sydal.
It would be funny.
That would be very funny.
Didn't they announce him though? Like that Matt would make it.
I am also under the impression that they did.
I maybe.
Yeah, I thought they announced that they had Matt before. At least he would make an appearance.
Yeah, maybe they've made an announcement about that, but
I do like how they sent that poster out where the big deal was special appearance Rio Saito.
Yeah. Yeah, of
course. Was it probably the most famous DG match?
Let's talk about the other 5 guys in this.
Oh yeah.
La Estrella and Vineto, who was the guy that
Viento.
He showed up in Dragon Gate last year. No, in 2023.
He was good.
Feels like last year. Yeah, he was good. He was weirdly good. Then the third team in this 3-way is El Cucuy and Oni El Bendito, which I can only guess is El Bendito.
You've seen him before in the Big Chi.
Oh, yeah, but this is El Benito. Yeah, I think I've seen him in case.
Late ties run deep.
Then tag team match: Dragon Kid and Ultimo Dragon versus Ho Ho Lun and Susumu Yokosuka. Then a non-title singles match. I wish this was for the title. Honestly, they should just do that. Yamato versus Witch One. I would just give Yamato more keys, Then 6-man tag: Ben K, Hyo, and Casey versus Seabrats, Ishin, Kotominori, and Shun Skywalker is the main event. Again, I have a feeling that they will probably try to go all out in the 6-man main event. This is at least it's over 24 hours removed from the last Dragon Gate USA show. Because the first one is on the 16th, this is on the 18th. So that is the two Dragon Gate.
And what about the Lucha tag match too, with like Arcangel Divino?
Oh
like
yeah,
Lucha Solos.
I skipped over that.
Yeah,
Arcangel Divino. I remember some guy tweeting about him constantly, but that was like 5 years ago. I never heard anything else about him.
I look forward to watching the show just to like see some new people, because I have not seen any of the people in that tag title match.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like that.
That is always what draws me to watch a lot of shows during WrestleMania week. It's just to see how the indie scene is doing, and always what I like with WrestleMania week. I'm very happy that Dragon Gate is going over. We have Dragon Gate Thailand booked on Pandemonium. The House Always Wins also. We now have the full card for that and the full official things there that I have been spammed about for like over a month now by Hart, who I have, by the way, invited to D3 to review WrestleMania week with us. And he has said yes, so that's something that we should do. But he said earlier that Sony actually is sponsoring this show, the Pandemonium, The House Always Wins, and they are providing 8K cameras for this show. So I am finally going to see Casey in 8K.
It's insane. Like they even have they have the
they have the voice actor for Arthur Morgan on the show.
Yes, exactly. They have the voice actor for Arthur Morgan of Red Dead Redemption 2 as on commentary.
That is amazing.
What?
Apparently,
no.
Yes. He's a wrestling fan, according to Hart. So
oh my god. That's amazing.
It's amazing, Dylan. It's big.
That's so awesome.
On the same poster as Casey and like the Dragon Gate wrestlers, we have the voice actor for one of the most beloved video game characters of all time. It's amazing.
I freaking love this. You get Mao on this show too? Like we get more D3's work here. Miyu or Miyu Watanabe's on this show?
Honestly, this show
is
one of my most hyped shows of the entire WrestleMania week.
Oh, this rules. Yeah, this show. Yeah.
Are you excited for Ninja Mac versus Mustafa Ali?
I'm good.
If anyone decides Mustafa Ali was in there, I would be.
No, I picked that out. The rest.
Yeah, Ninja Mac is my guy though.
Marshall Slamovich versus Mao, which is already cool.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous and fun.
Casey versus Cappuccino Jones, who I have heard a lot of hype for Cappuccino Jones from Hart.
WWE ID.
WWE ID. Then we have
KZ in the WWE ID zone with Mathers again. Regal is the young and up and comer KZ.
Maybe Casey will be WWE ID'd. Then we have CMLL X Dragon Gate, Titan and Ben K versus Barbaro Cavernario and Yamato. That is a wild match.
It is so good.
Yamato should so come out in Tribe Vanguard get up because he's teaming with Barbaro. That sounds amazing.
He should come out in with face paint.
Yeah, Tribe Vanguard.
Put a bone in his hair.
Caveman Yamato.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be very fun.
Yeah, show's going to be really good.
We also have the card for DDT's Las Vegas show. This looks like a more singles-heavy card than usual for DDT. It seems like they're not bringing that many people over. We have one Cole Manders versus Yukio Naya. We have Antonio Honda versus Santana Jackson. Timothy Thatcher versus Shinya Aoki. That sounds
interesting. I am so ready for that.
Gringo Loco, Marcus Matters, Tyler Bateman versus Kazuma Sumi, Nick Wayne, and Shunno Katsumata. Very happy for Sumi to get over to the States.
And then we have he gets to wrestle Gringo.
Yeah. Then we have Konosuke Takeshita versus Mao. That is awesome.
By the way, what I found interesting, because I'm not looking at the WWE stuff, is Nick Wayne still with AEW, right?
Yes.
Because his wrestling Marcus Matters.
Yeah, no, that's the then after Konosuke Takeshita versus Mao, which is probably the semi-main, or it should be the main, honestly.
It should be the main.
DDT Universal title, Minoru Suzuki defending against Yoshihiko. Which, yeah, of course. That is happening. That is happening on the 18th of April, so on the Friday, in the Pearl Theater in the Palms Casino Resort. So it's the same place as it's part of the collective. Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure Mao will be wrestling like a bunch of matches during all of WrestleMania week, just like last year. But yeah, I'm looking forward to WrestleMania week. We have, of course, 2 Korakuen halls for Dragon Gate and DDT to get away before that, though. Both of them happening on Sunday and Monday, upcoming Sunday and upcoming Monday. We of course talked about the DDT Korakuen last week, which will be Chris Brooks versus Yu Okuruku. And so we don't need to preview it, but it's going to be streamed live on Wrestle Universe, so watch that on Sunday and then watch Dragon Gate on Monday, both in Korakuen. And we'll be back probably like a day or so before Easter starts to review both of these shows, if we can. Yeah,
sure, probably, maybe.
April is going to be a busy month. We have a lot of wrestling lined up for both the companies, and I know that Dragon Gate especially is on the build-up stage before Dead or Alive, and we could see a big title change in DDT. But yeah, Yannik, do you want to say anything before I close?
Yes, on the 11th of April, there will be the Gun Pro Korakuen, which, as of right now, somehow isn't scheduled to stream live on Wrestle Universe. I have big question marks about that, but I'm looking to do a review for that with Savvy again.
Yeah. Dylan, you were talking earlier about a new episode of Eastern Lariat. Is it out?
That's right. Yeah, it just came out yesterday. Very easy to listen to. Just on the everywhere you want to listen to it. Check out the new episode. It was a great show. A lot of people liked it. We talked about everything on that show. Not just DG, New Japan, All Japan, Noah, Stardom, Marigold, Sendai, TJP, Michinoku Pro. Like, it was all there. A lot of people really liked it. So check that out. It was a really good show. Check out my appearance on Jumping Knee Pod, me and Jess. We talked about Champion Carnival, gave a full preview. I explained Kakuta lore to everybody out there and tried to represent him the best I could to any All Japan fans out there that might not be familiar with him from DG. So I did bring that in, and it was a lot of fun. I always enjoy being on her show. So check that stuff out. Most importantly, I hope everybody out there is doing well. Be safe with your families out there. We all know this world is crazy as hell sometimes, so I've got your back to the best I can. If you guys ever want to talk to me about wrestling or anything, I love all you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening to any of my shows, but most importantly, the Dramatic Dream Dragons right here.
Yeah. But until next time, as always, be ready, wake up, and go.